Hello, I'm Chelsea Ford. I'm the founder of Females in Food, and I'm here in the Winning Appliances showroom, and I'm joined by Vicky Berenice from Alive and Wild. Hello, Vicky.
Greetings, how are you today?
Very well. Now, love your business, Alive and Wild. Tell us what it's about.
Well, first of all, it's named after me, Alive and Wild. It's plant-based. I use raw as my cuisine. It's cooked, nothing's cooked above 42 degrees Celsius, so it's dehydrated or it's raw, plant-based, and we use different things to alchemize or change the way the food is so that it becomes digestible, either through sprouting, ferments, or the actual processes that the raw goes through. I got into the raw food because of a health crisis, as most people do when they go through that health stage. And I just got really good at it. And that sort of became something that everyone was like, oh, you should do this, you should get this out. Oh, there's nothing like this out there. And so it developed then into this retail experience. And it supports the retreats we have here on our property.
And where is your property?
Of course, Byron Shire, the beautiful Byron. Just, what are we, the easterlymost point of Australia. And I'm in the hinterland, which is between Mullumbimby and Byron itself. So I get the best of both worlds. I'm super close to the beach, but I'm also in this beautiful subtropical rainforest, which is so magical. It's really special.
Lovely. What a beautiful place for raw plant-based cuisine. So what sort of products do your customers love? What's their favourites?
Really, at the moment, it's the cheeses because, you know, apart from the fact that vegan cheese is becoming the new black, it's like people need alternatives to dairy that's not soy. And soy is against my religion. Cannot stand it. Love and light to all you soyers, but it doesn't work for me. And really, in raw food, we don't use it. So, you know, we've developed other alternatives. Because I find that a lot of the vegans, for instance, they cook a lot of the food and so the nutrients go. That's why I stay so raw. But back to that cheese. I think what it is with the cheese is because I make it with nuts and I make it with ferment. And so people are really getting a base experience of good probiotic. And so that makes, you know, moreish. Because the body's craving it.
So how do you stay on top of product development when, you know, you're really spearheading a whole new category, really, like vegan cheese? How do you find out what your customers want?
I feed the carnivores. What I do is I do a whole lot of samples and I give it to people that aren't vegan, that are used to cheese. And when they taste it and go, whoa, and they want it, then I know I'm on a winner. Because, you know, the vegans, you're already converted in that sense. They're going to try nut cheese. Whereas these carnivores, bless their little hearts, they haven't had that experience. And, like, frankly, again, when I talked about before getting into raw food, my husband did a session on me and it was like, wow, you can really only eat no grains, lots of plant-based, etc. And I was like, what the hell am I going to eat? You know, I love dairy. I love all that stuff. So it's kind of like, I thought it was going to be a bunch of lentils and, you know, I think that's what happens. A lot of people don't realise that there's so much choice with plant-based and you can have a decent experience of cheese.
Vicky, product development is so important to keep ahead of the trends, and you're spearheading a new industry. Tell me how you do it and how people accept new products, new raw products.
Really, it's trying them because there's a stigma around raw, I've found. Either they go, is that raw fish? What do you mean? What's raw? Or it's like raw food and it's all a bunch of alfalfa and bloody sprouts. You know, no, it's not. I make food that satisfies the carnivore because really they're the people that you want to convert. Your vegans, your raw, they're already rocking it. They know, they want it, that's fine. And, you know, luckily I've got a really good base, a clientele from that because they appreciate what I'm doing. Because once you start to try and make it yourself, you see just, you know, the artisan that is produced. That's why it's such a market, I think, because there's a lot of work that's in it. It's very labour intensive. And if someone else can make that cracker for you, God damn, I'll be paying $10 for it. Thanks very much.
Does that mean that you're big on believer in collaborations?
I like collaborations. So far for me, it's been interesting because I haven't had much raw food to collaborate with. I've collaborated with like periphery things or outside things that complement.
So what would you say the biggest challenge is for you as an artisan producer?
Packaging right now.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm doing some really great, as well, cheeses, yes, but I'm doing these fantastic, we call them camemberts. They're made with cashew nuts and a fermented water called Rejuvelac, which is so fantastic. It takes away grey hair if you drink enough of it. You know, I love it. Anyway, so it's a softer cheese. So I vacuum seal a lot. And so I've had to go and invest in a bigger vacuum sealer, more commercial grade, you know, so I don't look like some home bloody chef. I might be, you know, artisan, but the artisan still has to look professional to be taken seriously.
With your pricing, for instance, I think a lot of people find it difficult to price their own products and to really understand the margins that they need to make. Have you got any tips for the newcomer on how to price?
You know, I'm really the worst person to ask. You know what I do? I find the market average. I see what I'd pay for it, and that's how I price. It's not very scientific. Then after that, I see if I'm making any money. You know, I know some people will say this percentage of that and that sort of thing. I don't have a head for figures. Up there for thinking, down there for dancing, you know. It's not working for me. So that's what I do. So, for example, my cheese is a nut cheese. When I look at it, I think, what would I pay? Because after all, I am my audience. I'm a yuppie hippie. Let's face it. You know, I like all these, you know, we're sustainable and all that sort of shit, but I also like my truffles and my rosé and...
And if there was one thing that you'd advise the newcomer, what's the first thing that she could do when she wants to commercialize her dream product?
Run! No, look, I would say get yourself this mentor thing. I've never been involved with groups or anything like that, but having that experience with females in food has really given me knowledge I had no idea I didn't know, you know, about the regulations, etc. But there are so many different women, like the way that they're doing it and the way they're putting it together. There's such a wealth of information to draw on. You don't have to go the ordinary path. Like I'm not, and it's working for me. You know, I'm not going down that traditional retail, go get a distributor, etc. I want my online store to be the first point of call. I mean, the host people did it, why can't I, right? So I can then know what order I'm filling. I make to order. I'd rather be a little bit more exclusive and special than everywhere and the product drops from its original juju. But that's me. That works for me. Someone else might want to be the new Vegemite. And so, you know, you will get information, you will get the people around you. So yeah, what would my first thing be? I'd say getting involved with a group or a mentor that can actually, who's been through something that you haven't been through and can then advise you accordingly. So yeah, don't take it personally is the other thing. And get a mentor. I can really see the value in it now.
Yeah, I think resilience too is what you're alluding to, where I just see so many women who start up but don't necessarily keep going because, you know, not everybody likes your stuff and everybody's got an opinion. And on social media today, it's just so easy to be knocked down. So talking of social media, how important is Instagram and Facebook to you? And do you have a preferred channel to promote your business?
So I can't stand Facebook, love and light, but I do have the Facebook page. I went off it for a while, but I think that was because on a personal level, it was draining me. What I found was there was a lot of people that wanted a lot for free and it didn't necessarily translate to sales. Then I got into Insta, the pretty pictures. And also, you know, it's so inspiring when you see some of the food there. Oh, I'm going to make that. I'm going to try that, etc. With Insta, I find it's not as true in the sense that someone can have 12, 14,000 followers, yet they're only getting constantly 20 or 30 likes. They must have bought them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not saying everybody who has that is that, but I'm saying when I look at the truth of, you know, you should have at least 10% answering. So unless they've got 300 or 400 likes on each post, I'm suspicious. I also find with the social, I mean, it's been good for me. You know, it's got me out and about a little bit in Byron because this is a reboot for me. And Byron being a tourist town, there's enough space in between my closing of my original shop to me starting again that there's a whole bunch of people who never heard of me. So the Insta's been really good, and because most people in our area tag it with Byron Bay, you get to know really quickly who's around. So Insta's my channel. I call my space Living Live Raw, describing the food, of course. And or you can hashtag Alive and Wild. That's the name of the business. But I don't always think a like transforms to sales. That's the only thing. I think the great thing about the Instagram for me is it's like a portfolio. Check out my page, see what I do. You know?
Get a feel for who I am and what my style is and my brand. So tell me, just to finish up, what's the future hold for Alive and Wild? What's next for Vicky Berenice?
Cover of Vogue. No, I mean, we really want to get these retreats up and running again. When I say again, because we've knocked down some buildings and put things up, it's all varied. And I really want this cheese to fly. Not just because, you know, it's my product and da-da-da, but I'd really like people to see that there's an alternative to dairy that's not soy and that is just, it's delicious and nutritious. It really can be. And, you know, why can't hedonism, my religion, actually be good for you? You know, why does hedonism have to be the pursuit of something that you like, but go overboard? Why can't it be that it's the more you have, the better it is for you? So really it's the cheese, getting that out there. And people actually coming and experiencing the food made for them. So they can come and they can stay here completely out of an electrical experience. So you really do get a chance to reboot, etc. And get spoiled with some really yummy stuff that you haven't tasted before. That's for sure.
And one thing I'm really curious about before we go, why aren't you into soy? What's the story with soy?
Oh, I know, right? I never liked, when I had a coffee shop early on in the piece, I never did the soy coffees. I couldn't stand it. In fact, I made my own nut milk and everyone said to me, what a load of crap, that's not going to take off. I rest my case. I don't do the tofus and stuff like that. I find it filler food. That's my personal opinion. I know some people swear by it. Something about soy, it's like coriander, I cringe. I don't think it's healthy. It's healthy as they make out. How's that?
Yep, perfect.
You're a soy coffee drinker?
No way. I've gone back to full cow, actually.
No, I do too. I do too. I have raw milk here that we can source, and I have raw milk here that we can source, and I use that as my coffee milk. I'm probably, in my own life, I'd be raw vegetarian, not raw vegan, because I like honey.
Yeah. So anything that you'd like to tell the wonderful community of women in the food and drinks industry?
Keep at it, girlfriends, and be glamorous doing it. You know, you don't have to compromise any part of yourself to express yourself.
Beautiful, beautiful. Vicky Berenice from Alive and Wild, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your time today. And if you've liked this video, share it with your friends, give us a thumbs up, or please make a comment below.
Right on.